Just a quick video of what I'm proposing here, to use a 6-cylinder electronic distributor that's been locked for a home signal for the Haltech. Ordinarily what happens is this spins in an anti-clockwise direction, and every time it spins and the two posts meet up and then it spins, it releases a signal to the matchbox on the side here, and that sends a signal to the coil to fire, etc, etc. Okay, getting back to this, as this spins, we only need a home signal. So we don't get a home signal 6 times, we only need a home signal once. So what I'm proposing of doing is leaving, for example, one of these here and one of the extensions here, so that as this spins around, it will be basically that won't exist, that won't exist, that won't exist, that won't exist, that won't exist. Let's use the roll pin one as an example. So say that's firing point there. So we adjust this around so this all sits on the front cover as a top dead center. Remove this, 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 and this, and remove all of these extensions as well. All the extensions. So there's basically nothing apart from that one extension and that one post. We leave the entry ramp from that post to this post. We leave that entry ramp there, and the exit ramp as well to about there, and then machine it that thickness. You can see that thickness just where my fingernail is, that thickness there all the way around. So there's nothing happening until such time, and we use the roll pin as an example. We come around, we spin this around, this keeps coming around. Okay, so now what's happening is it's coming, it's picking up the entry ramp signal, and it'll come to there, and it'll pick up the exit ramp signal, and it'll spin around. So that at that point, when it spins around like that, that's when it's going to be sending a signal to the matchbox, and then it's going to be sending a trickle to the Haltech to let it know that we have just passed the home signal. At the crank, we've got a reluctor. You can use a Hall effect, whatever, but at the crank, we've already got that signal going in there. That's the trigger. This one's the home. So it comes around and just does that and spins around. And remember, this is half engine speed. So this is exactly what the engine's requiring. The computer's requiring to fire the engine and to know exactly where everything is. So as this comes around, it says, yep, this is number 1 cylinder. And it goes around. All the other cylinders are firing, blah, 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 blah. It comes around again and says, yep, number 1 cylinder. And of course, that signal's being sent to there. The only thing I can see is perhaps the signal strength is going to be lost because you're not going to have them all coming there at the same time. So it's the energy is only 1/6. It doesn't have the sensitivity to pick it up. I imagine it probably does, but you could always try it on an oscilloscope to see what happens and measure it and see. But that, to me, is the easiest thing to do. Basically, it costs nothing except for a bit of machining. Removing these posts, just leaving one. Figuring out which one you're going to use, but you just put it in the front cover and you just position it and see which one, and get your engine to top dead center and see which one's the closest to where you need to be. And I reckon you've got yourself a winner.